Hey, uh, wondering if everybody thought that something tragic had happened to me. Still here, so I appreciate you for still buying green bananas. That's good. We're still out there buying green bananas. Next time you're going through the grocery store, you see green bananas, you can think of me, right? So the report, the results. We'll kind of go through that. But first, big goofy smile, BGS. So I will say, BGS is catching on. It's taken the world by storm. And by the way, I am pretty emotional right now. So if I get little, there's a lot of dust floating around here in the at my house, and so if I get a little dusty eyed, you'll know why. But a former colleague. Oh man, I hope hope I can make it through this. A former colleague. She recently had a little boy. I don't know, not quite a year ago, and and so she's be watching. And she sent me pictures yesterday of her son, and it was right when I was getting some pretty rough news, and so I did just want to tell her how much that meant to me. But big goofy smiles. She said she was just watching a kid do kid things that made her smile. And to me, that makes me smile. So big goofy smile. It's catching on. It's taken over. My BGS, big goofy smile this week is my dog, Riverdog. Most of you know Riverdog. It was his birthday this past weekend. Yes, we're one of those people who knows when our dog's birthday is, and if you know Riverdog, he's a Bernedoodle, and if you know anything about Bernedoodles, he is typical Bernedoodle. Probably not the smartest dog, probably not the most clever dog, but man, he loves you, and I've been thinking a lot about River lately. The reason why he makes me smile is because his people love him completely unconditionally, and he knows it. He knows his people love him. He is fiercely loyal. He follows you around. He's playful and he's goofy, and like to just unself-conscious. He's just and he has this ability to match your energy. So if you're excited, he gets excited, and if you just want to lay on the couch and just veg, he comes and lays and just puts his head right in your lap and just says, "Pet me," and so I want to be more like Riverdog, just loyal, present, enjoy where I'm at, be goofy when it's called to be goofy, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Life doesn't have to be complicated. So it's my big goofy smile, my dog, Riverdog. Happy birthday, Riverdog. He's the best dog. So before I get into the report, Dr. Morales got staples. Recall last Friday, went to the doc, pulled staples out. I went in with the understand. This tells you, this is why I'm wearing a hat. So I haven't cut my hair, and you can probably tell, so I have to wear a hat. and it's short on one side, it's short on the top, and but so I went in last Friday thinking, okay, good, I'm getting everything out. I'm gonna, right after that, we'll go get it cut. I don't know if I'm gonna shave. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but at least I can deal with that. So I walked in and he started pulling staples out, and I was like, great. So what about the sutures? And he laughed. And he's like, sutures? And I was like, yeah, I got to go get my hair cut. And he said, yeah, you ain't getting those things out. Those things aren't coming out for another 3 weeks. So the good news, I do have no staples, so it feels much better. Feels much better. Still a lot of tension. Still, like, it's weird. Some, like right now, it doesn't. But every once in a while, I'll be like, oh yeah, it's still tight. But I think I'm pretty sure all the incisions are healed up, and hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks, we'll go in and he'll cut out the sutures, and I'll have a new scalp. So that's good news. So in the meantime, I'm wearing a bunch of hats. People at work, there's some people that know at work kind of what I'm going through. There's some people that don't. I think the people who don't, who probably look at my hair like, dude, what is up with that guy? Because I try to do the best I can by combing it over and trying to, but if somebody looked at the top of my head, they'd be like, dude, what is going on, right? So I try to stay tall, and I try to put a lot of gel and accoutrements into to kind of keep it, but yeah, looking forward to when I can cut my hair, and it'll be nice. But 3 more weeks. All right. So report. Post-surgical pathology came back, and it's not the news that we'd hoped for, and kind of suspected that, but I think that's one thing that I've always tried to be pretty real about it, but it is, it is what it is. I can't control what I can't control. So, so the official staging right now is, so if you recall that with cancer, there's 3 kind of, in order to get the staging, there's the tumor, which is T, there's the N, which is the nodes, and the M is metastasized, so T, N, M. And in order, they can't fully stage it until they check all of that, right? So I recall at first when we did the tumor, it was 2C, I think, 2B, 2C. And then, but they said, but hang on, we gotta go, that's only the T part. We gotta go do the N part. So the N came back. So the T part was P-T3B. The N part is P-N1A, which basically means pathology. So it means they've done the pathology. N1 means that at least one node, 1A. So it was in one node. And so the current staging right now is stage 3C. So it's a step up from where we were at. Stage 2 was serious. This is more serious. So, and it's towards the higher end. And so I kind of thought that it might be in the lymph nodes, but that was just a thought that I'd had. It was nothing. That was just, I was like, nah, it is. But the good news is that well, let me just kind of walk through some of the good news. I wrote down some of the good things that came out of this, and I'll talk about the bad things that obviously the bad things, but good things is that, that big hole that O'Donoghue cut, that Dr. Morales had to work his artistic magic to pull all my hair together, that big hole. The good news is, I think the reason why she went that big is she's like, okay, if I'm going to go in, I'm going to get it all. And she got it all. So has clean margins, meaning that there was nothing on the periphery of that, of what she sent in. So that's good. So we got it all. We got it all there. So that's good. There was no nodular extension, which essentially means when they pulled out the lymph nodes, and again, I'm not an oncologist, I'm not a pathologist, I don't know, but the melanoma was contained to one of these lymph nodes. It was about the size of a grape, a small grape, I guess. And but it hadn't broken through, right? The melanoma hadn't gotten, it didn't break through to the surrounding tissue. So that's good. That's good news. Only they pulled out 2 nodes. Only one had melanoma. There was another one that was inconclusive. And they went to the board. They have a board, and they all look at all the results, and they kind of talk about it and things like that. And they decided not to count that one. They said they think there was other things going on with that one, and so they said no, we don't. They can't rule it out, but they're just going to say, we're going to. This is what we're going to count. We're going to count what we know. So. And I think they probably would have been conservative if they would have said, no, we think it's in that one too. I think they would have pulled it in. So that's good. And brisk immune response. So I got my I don't know if that's the Red Bulls that I'm drinking or what, but my immune system is fighting. So that's good. So it's going to continue to fight. And I just keep, every time I eat a cookie, I'm like, this is fuel for the fight. Keep fighting immunity or immune system. Keep giving her hell. So, but there is that is brisk immunoresponse, which we'll talk about that in just a minute. But that's good news for us. So the bad news, obviously, I got cancer, right? So obviously. Staging is now at stage 3C, and probably the worst news is could get worse. It can only get worse. So there's one thing that we're still waiting on. They didn't get the BRAF report back. That's the molecular level where they're looking at genetics, because about 50% of the melanoma is caused by a genetic mutation, and if it has that genetic mutation, that's good for us, because that gives us more, I guess, therapies that we can use, more options. Even if it's not, that doesn't mean we don't have options out there. We don't have different medications and therapies and stuff. It just, if it is positive, if it's BRAF positive, it does give us more options, more ways to fight this thing. So, and we still need to go in to get the PET scan. So we'll talk through that. So 3C, again, not the news I was hoping for, but we're gonna keep moving on. Now, out of those good things and the bad things, probably the best thing, I can't tell you guys how lucky I am to be where I'm at. So when O'Donoghue was kind of giving me this news, and just love that lady. She was saying, I'm going to find a place that's close to you, so we can get you some immunotherapies, get you on the medication, get you on the sauce, and we're gonna. So I'm looking for some stuff, near Crystal Lake. We need, and I was kind of sitting there and I kind of processing this, and I was like, hang on, wait a minute. I appreciate you looking out for me, because but I said, pretend like I'm your brother. Where do you send me? And she's like, I send you right down the hall to these 2 guys that I know. And I'm like, I'm your brother, so hook me up. And so she's like, say no more. So she gave me, she referred me. I'm now with Dr. Thomas Gajewski as a medical oncologist. And if you thought O'Donoghue was awesome, I mean, this guy, I think he has probably oncologist, baseball or oncologist cards, and he's legit. I started I started doing research on him, and is this guy good? And he's literally wrote the book on immunotherapies and melanoma. So when it comes to immunotherapies, cutting edge, and not just cutting edge, but perfecting what's out there. And so this guy is, I'm excited. I haven't met him. I meet with him on Tuesday, but I feel like I'll be, I'll probably feel, a little bashful going in and sitting down with this guy because he literally is world renowned. So, Dr. Thomas Gajewski. So, so when we talked about this, I was talking to my kids, and just, and if this thing gets me in the end, it gets me. It gets me. It won't be for a lack of two things. First of all, me trying. And second of all, literally the best oncologist team, probably in the United States and therefore probably in the world. I mean, these guys are literally world renowned. So I'm in good hands. That's probably the best news. Like out of all the things where I'm at and so forth. So Tuesday's a big day. I go in Tuesday morning to meet with Dr. Gajewski. And then Tuesday afternoon, I get my PET scan. So they will recall that PET scan. They're going to shoot me full of radioactive sugar water. And then they take pictures of me, and anywhere that there's hot spots, they can see hot spots throughout my body, lungs, brain, spine, liver, pancreas, bone, you name it. It will glow in with this PET scan, and so they'll go and they'll be able to give me a full staging there. I'm also guessing that at that time, there's also Dr. Gajewski's probably going to get me lined out for immunotherapy. I don't know that, but I'm assuming that there's he's going to talk to me about options. And like I said, I don't know if that starts this week, next. I don't know. So, so that's where we're at. I apologize. Like I said, I got home last night. I was just like, I know I like people to smash that like and hit that subscribe. I gotta keep my fam informed and give them the content that people are looking for. I just didn't have it in me. So thank you for your patience. As soon as I get the once I get back from Dr. Gajewski's and the PET scan and kind of get results back from that. Results from PET scan are pretty quick. But I don't know if like he's going to look at them and then he talks to O'Donoghue, or if he's going to, it doesn't matter what that comes back, he's going to treat it one way, and then O'Donoghue's going to talk to me about the results from PET scan. I don't know what that looks like, but I know that PET scan results come back pretty quick. And then, but in the meantime, we'll get the immunotherapy rolling. So, again, not super great news. But I'll keep saying what I've told people. I will control what I can control, and I'm not going to worry about what I can't control. And I can't control if I have cancer throughout my body. I can't control that. It is what it is. I can't control that. What I can't control, what we do with it. I can't control how we fight it. There's things that I can control. I can't control. So that's what we're going to be focusing on, and is controlling what we can control. So, thank you. Be like Riverdog. Be loyal. Be present. Match the energy of people around you. Lay on your belly and wait for somebody to come and rub your belly. Be like Riverdog. So thank you. Appreciate everybody hopping on. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support. Talk to you soon.